Hey everyone, today it's something different. Today is going to be a comic book review. I've not done a review of a proper graphic novel for some time, so happy to do that today. Let's quickly jump in, and today you may see two different books here, and the question could be, am I going to talk about both? No. We will talk about Identity Crisis today on this video, and then we will follow it up with Infinite Crisis on another video. And that's also based on the timeline in which this books came out. This came out in around 2004, and this came out much later in 2005, 2006, right? So we will talk about Identity Crisis. And by the way, for those guys who may ask what is a crisis, crisis is a huge event that is defined in the DC universe, which has multiple ramifications. There could be some changes in the continuity. People could die, superheroes could come back, and a bunch of other things happen in crisis events. And primarily crisis event refers to the ones where there is a multi-universe in it. It started with Crisis on Infinite Earths way back in the 1980s, I think, late 1980s. Then it was followed by Zero Hour, which is a crisis in time, and then after those two events we got Identity Crisis, right? And the difference in Identity Crisis, so as to speak, is that this is an internal crisis, right? Most of the other crisis events was more external, multi-dimensional, multi-universal. This is something of a crisis event that happened within or amongst the heroes, and the story is really engaging. I feel it's like a detective novel of sorts, so really interesting to take you guys through it. For those guys who really like Identity Crisis after this review, another book which I would also suggest is Crisis Amongst Heroes that recently came out. That's also another I think that could be a sequel to the Identity Crisis story, right? Because the rest of the crisis events are a bit different. So let's jump right in and talk about Identity Crisis. So let's jump right into Identity Crisis, and there could be some spoilers ahead. So for those of guys who doesn't like any spoilers, please do turn away. And for the ones who want to understand what is the theme of the story, although I'm not going to reveal the final villain, etc., but there will be a revelation of what the theme is, how the setup is, etc. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get right into it. And I really love the cover. Right, it's by Michael Turner, and he has some really cool, awesome covers throughout Identity Crisis, and I'll show those to you guys. You could see the capes of Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman. I really like that only her lasso is here. Superman, Atom, Hawk Girl, and of course Green Arrow. The story is by Brad Meltzer, and Rags Morales is the penciler, and Michael Turner is done the covers for it, right? So let's jump right into the story. So again, there is going to be a lot of amazing artwork that you will start seeing within this story, and that's one real outstanding part why I love this graphic novel. So for me, even before I go into anything, I would definitely tell you that this is a must-have if you are a DC comic collector and love the detective part of it. Again, another brilliant cover by Michael Turner. You could start seeing a casket, and you will soon know whose casket it is, right? Just pausing so you guys can enjoy that artwork again. So the story is around some Justice League member who many of you guys may not be aware of, and he is right here. His name is Ralph Dibny, and he is called as the Elongated Man. You could think of him as the equivalent of Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four, right? So essentially he can stretch himself, that's his main power, and he is doing and then you in the next few pages you start seeing what the DC heroes are doing at this point in time, and where they are, right? It's just a time pause kind of thing where they show that what are the different people doing, and then Elongated Man goes on to tell his love story of how he met his wife, who's shown right here. Her name is Sue Dibney, right, and how the love story has flourished over a period of time. And they are just doing a stakeout because there is a villain called the Bolt, and they're just checking on what is happening. Him and I think this lady is called Firehawk or something. Yeah, so they both are doing the stakeout. In the meantime is something a real shocking that is happening, and that is leading to Sue Dibney's death, right, and that is the primary event which sets off the entire story, right. I'm just showing you few pages where you could start seeing the action, and love the fantastic artwork that is there, right. So, and this is the page where they show it looks like she's burnt, and she expired due to the burns in her body, and that's how it looks like. And you could see the expression of Ralph when he finds his wife. Again, she was pregnant, so that's a pretty like a breakout moment of sorts. And then one of the most fantastic thing is obviously all the heroes, and this is a detective story of epic proportions, because all the heroes with all superpowers are involved, and obviously they need to find out the cause of her death and who led to it, and that happens in a mammoth proportion, the detective work, and you could start seeing glimpses of it. But the next page, I believe, and most of you may agree, is the most fantastic splash page of this entire book. Although it's for a terrible incident, it's for the death ceremony, but you will see a bunch of heroes, right. Everybody in the DC universe have gathered for the death ceremony of Sue Dibney, and it quickly takes pace that the death ceremony is done with, and there is a primary suspect identified who could have led to this, and he is Dr. Light. And again, another brilliant page with Michael Turner art, right. I don't want to go too in depth, but there seems to be a Justice League society within the Justice League, and they know some things which the other members like Superman, Batman don't know of, and that's Dr. Light raping Sue Dibney a long time ago, and that story is also revealed pretty soon. And then it leads to the fact that this set of guys then went and did a mind wipe on Dr. Light, so that he doesn't remember any of this, and he becomes completely an imbecile. So that story is revealed, and that is shown as the reason by which they believe that Dr. Light could be the cause of it. And obviously he plays with fire, so it looks like a fire accident, so he's a prime suspect there, right. Again, I'm just taking you for some panel. This is another brilliant part of the story where Dr. Light hires Deathstroke as a protector of sorts against a bunch of heroes who are coming after him, and the fight that breaks out is captured very well in this page. But it's a brilliant fight between Deathstroke and a bunch of the superheroes. Obviously the way he takes them out is fantastic to watch, right, and it shows why he is such a dangerous opponent for the league. Anyways, we get interventions, we get twists going around. I'm not going to too much detail into that, but then more and more bizarre events start to happen, and this is one where Atom's wife, Jean Loring, is hanged up on the door, and then I love the way Wonder Woman is shown here. She had got a retcon into this, because in between the Crisis on Infinite Earths to Infinite Crisis, Zatanna was the team member of Justice League and not Wonder Woman, and she gets back into the Justice League during the times of Infinite Crisis. So that's an important event that is shown through this book as well. Anyway, Jean Loring survives, the good part. Again, it's a spoiler, but Lois Lane gets a note with a death note threat. So it essentially goes to show that the family members of the Justice League are under attack, right? And it goes to higher escalations because this guy called the Calculator, who is you could call him the oracle for the villain community, and he gets a hit order against this guy, which is Tim Drake's father, I think Jack Drake, if I remember, and that hit is ordered and it's taken up by none other than Captain Boomerang. For those of you guys who know, he's the villain in the villains gallery of Flash Rogues Gallery. Again, another brilliant page of Damian breaking down. I simply love this cover pages here. So that's the plot twist, right? There is again another death, and then everybody is going bang bang after the villains, because the hero community is completely agitated. They can't take it anymore, and that goes out like a all out war between the heroes and villains, and that is what the perpetuator actually wanted, right? From there on, I'm not letting you in on that final detail on who is that who's playing all the threads here. Again, another page by Michael Turner, but essentially the person gets what the person was looking for, and the entire Justice League and the superhero community are at arms against the villains now. So I will end up there. I also love the way they've showcased some of the past moments, some of the intricate plot twists, and the detective work that is going behind everything. So this is a must have. I think it's a least complicated of all the other crisis books, because this one is pretty complicated, right? You need to have a lot of background knowledge to understand this plot. This one is pretty straightforward. You can just have this book and and enjoy a very, very standalone love story, right? And that's the most brilliant part of it. So I'm skipping some of the pages because that reveals some of the spoilers, and then obviously after this is all over and the perpetrator is caught, the heroes recognize the importance of the family and the friends they have, and they are again closely knit back to their roots, and we end up with a brilliant scene of elongated man just bringing it close, where he still believes that his wife is still with him. So it's a pretty much of an emotional ride as well, and not just a bang bang fight kind of story, which I really love. I love the emotional aspect, and there is a lot of extra material where they go into the storyline, the plot threads, etc., which is simply brilliant. So it's for a fan who really loves that background story, it's all in here, right? So I would definitely, and it's not very costly a book, and I didn't get it in absolute edition or something, but many of the folks whom I know have it in absolute or a deluxe edition. I just have the trade paperback, but I think this, for enjoying the story, I think this is more than enough, right? But if you really want to enjoy the art in the next level, then definitely go for a absolute or a deluxe, and you will also have the original scripts here, which is a brilliant way to get into the writer's mind as well, and the sketches, so that you understand how the artist went out, or the penciler Rags Morales went out layering it out. So that's the essence of the story, and that is Identity Crisis for you guys. I really hope you liked this short review, and I will definitely be bringing more of these things. I have Infinite Crisis, I have Crisis on Infinite Earths, I have all the Crisis events with me, but that's for next time. So I hope you really enjoyed it, and do subscribe and watch out for more. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.